Joining us now, NBC's Steve Kornacki. Steve, great seeing you. Meanwhile, you have new data on the changing demographic coalitions we saw in this election?
Yeah, Jose, let's take a look here basically at what's emerged as the coalition that elected Donald Trump, because I think there's some striking changes here from when he first came on the scene and ran 8 years ago. The Republican coalition that elected Trump last Tuesday, it's younger, it's more diverse, it's more blue collar than before for Trump, and really that at any point for the Republican Party in modern history. This is what we mean. It says pre-Trump right here. That's the last presidential election before Donald Trump came on the scene. So that would be 2012 when Mitt Romney was the Republican nominee. In that election, the youngest voters under 30, went for the Democrats by 23 points. The voters with incomes under $50,000, Democrats by 22 points. Voters without a college degree, Democrats by 4 points. That's before Trump came along. And now, 2024, this is how those groups split last week. Look at this. The young voters under 30, that margin for Democrats cut more than in half. Under $50,000 has swung all the way over now to a Republican win of 3 points. Voters without a college degree from +4 for the Democrats, nearly a 20-point shift now, +14 for Trump and the Republicans. Look at the racial ethnic group breakdown here. You see it as well. Black voters, still a very core Democratic constituency. But look, pre-Trump, it was nearly a 90-point margin among black voters for Democrats. Last week, it was 72. That's a 15-point shift. This is the big one. Hispanic voters. It was a 44-point margin. That was the Democratic advantage before Trump. Last week, down to just 6 points. In Asian Americans, it was nearly a 50-point margin for Democrats before Trump, down to 15 points. So those are the changes that powered Trump, powered the Republican coalition. And as Trump now seems set to win the national popular vote, that's a big reason why. He didn't just make gains in the swing states that got him the Electoral College. He made big gains in big blue states. He didn't win any electoral votes in places like New York, New Jersey, California, but he got closer than he did before. And that's worth millions of votes, and that's how he gets the national popular vote. Meanwhile, we talk about the Republican Party becoming more diverse, more blue-collar. The opposite movement you're seeing in the Democratic Party. So again, before Trump, Republicans had won the white vote by 20 points. It's down 4 points. The Republicans won it by 16 last week. But, white voters are nearly 70% of the electorate. And so a 4-point shift there away from the Republicans toward the Democrats, that's significant. Voters with college degrees, it was a 2-point Democratic margin. Now it's a 13-point Democratic margin. Wealthy voters, $100,000 or more in income, it was 10 points Republican. Now it's 5 points for the Democrats. So the coalitions have changed here, Jose, over the last 8 years, and particularly in the 2024 election. And you see what that was worth for Donald Trump, a victory in the popular vote.
Well, that's striking, that income, 100,000 or more, and that jump, from +10 to +5. I mean, that's an extraordinary change in just a couple of years.
Yeah, and I mean, we were seeing signs of this, back in 2020. We were seeing signs of the Republican coalition. It wasn't enough for Trump then. We saw him make gains with Hispanic voters. You saw him make gains, consistently with voters without a college degree. And it just really escalated in this campaign. And again, it leaves questions I think we can show you here. This is the gender gap as well, by the way. But I wanted to show you the next one. These are some of the gains you saw for Trump in big blue states because of those shifts we just showed you demographically. Again, these are all still big blue states. But look at the improvements here that for Trump, the Democratic margin coming down substantially in all of those states. It's because of that coalition we just showed you there.
And very quickly, if I could, and I love having you around because, Steve, there's no one that knows more about all kinds of issues. But traditionally, we've always spoken about the high watermark for George W. Bush getting 44% of the Latino vote. How did Trump do vis-a-vis that?
So the exit poll has him a tick higher than Bush in 2004. And two things to note about that. The size of the Latino vote overall in the 20 years since Bush in 2004 has grown dramatically. So Trump's performance among Hispanic voters had more sort of it carried more of a punch than Bush's did in 04, simply because the voting bloc is so much bigger now. So it really did move some of the numbers in these states dramatically in a way that Bush's performance didn't. And also in 2004, there were some questions about the exit poll, the accuracy fully of that exit poll back in 2004. So again, when you look at the exit poll and Trump's performance among Hispanic voters this time, and you can go and look at counties with large Hispanic populations just across the board, that is where Trump's making his biggest gains.
Steve Kornacki.